West Khasi Hills is a long way from home, but sometimes when you hear of a place that is a fascinating piece of story, you just pack your bags and catch the first bus to get there. More than 100 kilometers away from Shillong, this time we will be crossing the length and breadth of a land that offers more than what we expect. The sky is blue, the road is excellent, and the spirit is on a high. A perfect day for an off-the-road experience. This is wild country, the land of the strong and the fierce. Many years ago, it was in these parts that the first war against the British Empire, the Anglo-Khasi War from 1829 to 1833 took place, and 27 years before the first War of Indian Independence, much before the Sepoy Mutiny started in the mainland. Some distance away, we make a first stop to catch a glimpse of the origin of a natural entity that has shaped not only the land in West Khasi Hills, but has influenced the thoughts and way of life of the natives for centuries. We are here in one of the streams that flow from Marpna village, and these streams form the mighty Kinchi River that runs for 143 kilometers across the West Khasi Hills, shaping the landscape of this beautiful land. Every river has a humble beginning. Apparently, the source of the Kinchi River is somewhere in Marpna village near Soyong in East Khasi Hills district. As the stream gathers momentum with the joining of other streams, the volume of water increases many times over to form the longest river in Meghalaya, the 143-kilometer long Kinchi River. Incidentally, our destination is located next to the Kinchi River. As we cross over to West Khasi Hills from Maram village, we move closer to Mairang, one of the major towns of the West Khasi Hills, the seat of the Nongkhnum chieftain, the descendants of the freedom fighter U Tirot Singh. Mairang has grown into a bustling town. The skyline is dominated by concrete structures. In the 19th century, it was one of the arenas of a protracted insurgency against the British Empire. A strong feeling of patriotism prevails over me as we stop to pay homage to the great patriot and brave heart U Tirot Singh's aim of Nongkhnum. Standing on its own at the crossroads, the memorial in honor of the freedom fighter is enclosed within a triangular concrete fence. A single piece of stone erected, and written on the stone is an inscription that remembers the brave deed of the famous son of the soil. The legacy of U Tirot Singh, freedom fighter, lives on till today in the hearts and minds of the tribesmen. Mairang is also the center of commercial activity in West Khasi Hills, and urbanization is expanding day by day. It is a 45-kilometer drive from Shillong, and with the recent completion of the Shillong-Tura highway, the travel time has been reduced to a large extent. We passed through Mairang en route to Nongstoin. The journey is long, but the enthusiasm drives us onto our destination. A landmark that is home to a river beach, numerous waterfalls, and grassland trails across meadows and forests. We move on the highway alongside the Kinchi River as it flows downstream to our destination. We stop by to have a look at the river from atop of one of the suspension footbridges that connect the remote villages on the other side of the river. After 25 minutes, we reach Nong Shillong, take a right turn and climb up a dusty dirt track to the top of the Mauthat Raishan mountain range. An incredible place that we had to visit and set foot. At the top, it's a huge area of pine forests, hills and valleys, but the main attraction are the mountain towns or lakes that are 16 in number. Mauthat Raishan is a water catchment area, and the water has been intelligently stored in a number of reservoirs up here. A simple water conservation effort has transformed this place into a spectacular tourism destination. We still had a long way to go and we moved on, regretfully and not being able to spend more time on Mauthat Raishan. We gave Nongstoin, the district headquarters, a pass and continued on a dirt road to the second largest river island, Nongkhnum Island, about 17 kilometers from Nongstoin. The Kinchi River, which we encountered a few hours ago, once again makes its presence felt here in Nongkhnum as it bifurcates into the Panliang and Namliang River and joining again downstream. The island of Nongkhnum is a village off the beaten track that evolved a few years ago. The villagers consist of a few households who adopted the village, most of them farmers working on the land and rearing livestock. Today, Nongkhnum is a tourist destination which provides livelihood to the settlers as well as the people of the nearby village. Nongkhnum Riverine Island was formed by the bifurcation of the Kinchi River. A bird's eye view of the island reveals a picturesque landscape of rolling hills, grassland and meadows interspersed with paddy fields and a few huts here and there. We crossed the grassy knoll onto the golden river beach. Adjacent to the sandy shore, the Panliang River looks like a lake. The turquoise blue waters, shimmering under the blue sky, move along swiftly to form a series of waterfalls. I was in Nongkhnum Island a few years ago, and there have been some changes. The hill overlooking the river has a few guest houses built for visitors who want to stay overnight. There are now boats that take you downstream to the waterfall that plummets down a deep gorge. I'm standing on the Kinchi River beach. As we trek across this island, let me show you its hidden beauty. We take a boat ride down the river to explore some more. There are a number of visitors today at Nongkhnum. Our guide and boatman, a young man, skillfully maneuvers the locally made boat. The river is gentle and appears calm, not giving a clue of the drama that lies ahead. At the moment, we are going downstream on a boat to show you guys one of the hidden beauties of Nongkhnum Island. The boat ride downstream was a smooth one, passing through evergreen forests along the riverbank. Nongkhnum Island's small population has not made any negative impact on the water body. As we glide with the flow, I can sense the freshness of the surrounding environment. After about 200 meters, we get off the boat and trek across a rocky trail to catch the river downstream as it thunders down a deep gorge across a narrow channel. As we stepped into the mass of rocks that lead to the waterfall, we could hear the roar of the water. The river changes shape and form in this unique landscape into a stretch of white water galloping down the ridge. As I approached the falls, the foam-like mist was rising from the turbulence of the mass of white water hitting the bottom of the falls. As the breeze carried the spray of water from downstream, I could smell and taste the water droplets as they caressed my face. This is one of the hidden waterfalls of Nongkhnum Island. You can see the sheer power of water cascading down this river. All of the river is squeezed into this narrow opening as the water creates a spectacle of force and power that could be heard far away. It rips through the rocky, jagged outcrop with a deafening explosion, making it impossible to hear anything else. This chaotic mass of water raging down the gorge is the Shat Thum Falls. I was left awestruck by its raw beauty and energy. We leave the thundering Shathum Falls and go back to the sandy shore by boat to continue a journey across the Nongkhnum grassland to another landmark, or rather another waterfall down the Namlyang river. While heading back upstream to the beach, a guide informs us that we will have to trek to the western side of the island alongside the Namlyang tributary of the Kinchi river. The boat ride at the moment was short, but an enjoyable one. It's about an hour's walk across the island through open spaces and forest paths. I followed our guide into a wide open grassland. The walk took us to a vast empty land that resembled a natural golf course. On afterthought, Nongkhnum would be a beautiful island golf course. The guide takes us across a rough and overgrown forest trail that was muddy and not easy to maneuver. However, this was part of the excitement and thrill that we were looking for in our unmapped journey. I thoroughly enjoyed every step of the way. This was an adventure that will remain in our memories for a long, long time. Finally, we reach the top of Risoke Falls, a series of 2-3 waterfalls cascading down the rocks. The waterfall does not have the raw force and power of Shathum Falls, but it is beautiful in its own right and complements the picturesque landscape of Nongkhnum Island. After the trek along the riverside, we have come to Risoke Falls here in Nongkhnum Island. What a breathtaking sight! As I stood on the top of Risoke Falls with the sun behind me, I am convinced that this island is truly a jewel in the crown of the West Khasi Hills. After Risoke Falls, we climb up the hill to continue our trek onto our final destination. The clear blue sky was an inspiration that lifted our spirits and enthusiasm as we walked the trail of our ancestors. Nongkhnum was discovered by accident not too long ago, and it became an overnight sensation, attracting a lot of curious onlookers after that. Its isolation and remoteness has in a way contributed to its beauty and serenity, relatively untouched by tourism. We were in a hurry and chasing the sunset at this point of time, not wanting to be late for a final rendezvous with another natural feature that is the main attraction of Nongkhnum Island. Although there are signs of human intervention in some parts of the island, Nongkhnum has retained its inner charm and appeal. we reach another segment of the Namliang River, some 3 to 4 kilometers from the sandy beach. Here, on its epic course, the river disappears into a rocky mass of rocks and reappears in all its magnificence on the other side, an epitome of pure natural beauty, Vainia Falls. I stood from the viewpoint across. It was a dramatic sight of water in all shapes and sizes plunging down, accompanied by the roar that overwhelmed all other sound. For whatever time we spent there, Vainia Falls totally overpowered our senses. All our faculties of sight, hearing, feeling and movement were held captive. Vainia left us all spellbound. We've come to the end of our journey today. We've had an exhilarating trek across Nongkhnum Island, the second biggest riverine island in Asia. It's time for me to go. I'll leave you to the amazing view of Vainia Falls.